The Tiger's Nest is a Radio Anu International exclusive program brought to you by the Honorable Priest Isaac. The Tiger's Nest is aired live every Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. local standard time. Become a subscriber through our website by visiting www.priestisaacinstitute.com and choose between our subscription plans. Or you can subscribe by using the details provided in the link below.
Yes, blessed love, royal family, highly Selassie, the first to be exalted. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. I welcome you to the Tiger's Nest. Of course, we represent priestisaacinstitute.com. That is the website of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. What I would like to bring to you today is some natal chart readings, and specifically, I will highlight today itself. So even if you have a child that was born today, like this very moment, I'm speaking of the second day of July, it is in the 20 and 24, I'm going to give you a special understanding of basically how to read and comprehend your natal chart and your natal reading. Keep in mind that right here at the Institute, we provide that for you, a comprehensive natal chart reading. Now, what I would like to do first, I would have done this already, give an understanding to the audience of why it is not pseudoscience, why it is something that is extremely valid. Now, we are all human beings. We are all biologically made up, yet still we are spiritual as well. But as far as our makeup, our genealogy and DNA, and again, our biology, most human beings understand that they're connected to the earth. Now, the human being, if you observe the chart that we have here, is made up of, for sure, the elements water and fire and earth, and of course, the air. But if we go deeper, as you could see, the elemental composition, you have oxygen and carbon and hydrogen and sodium and chlorine, magnesium, etc., and the different percentages that go with it. But at the same time, when you observe the planet Earth also is made up of these very same elements and sub-elements. That is why, again, air and water and fire and the earth comes into perspective. Now, of course, on the earth, planet Earth, I'm speaking of, remember, planet Earth is more than just Earth. Planet Earth has more water on planet Earth than the element Earth. That is why some would say that it should be called planet water. Now you have oxygen and aluminum and silicon and iron and the same elements that is in the human being is in the planet Earth, magnesium and sodium, etc. And remember, the plants are a part of planet Earth. Listen to this. You are a part of planet Earth. That's why you are one with the earth, because you are made up of the elements of the earth. Now, I'm speaking of the physical you. The spiritual you may have a different essence by itself, but we know the biology, the blood and the sinew and the muscles, your hair and your eyes and your fingernails, etc. It's made up of the elements of the earth. This is why the salinity of the seawater is very close or similar to the salinity of the blood, which is its saltiness. I would just like to read a bit of information here for you. Now, it says here, all life on Earth is carbon-based, very important information, meaning living things are composed of complex molecules that contain the element carbon. Carbon is an excellent starting material to make many different complex molecules because it can form 4 different bonds. This allows for a wide variety of molecules to create living things. Although carbon can form bonds with many different elements, there are 6 main elements that make up living things. Now, this is very important. I know many ones may just want to hear their natal chart being read. I was born on the 5th of December, 1983. I was born on the 3rd of November, 1940, whenever. Yes, so tell me what kind of characteristic I have. You know what kind of characteristic that you have. You see, this is why the academics is very important. So when you go into this field, you have a clear foundational understanding of what it is all about and the ancient science behind of it. So without, stepping on anyone's toes, no astrologer can just come and tell you any old thing, because at least you have a foundational understanding of the nature of all of this. So again, the 6 main elements that make up all living things: carbon and hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. Now, very important, because just as the planet Earth is made up of these elements and you are one with the Earth, the planets that are around us and the planets' satellites that are around them have their own makeup as well. So, of course, the planet Mars that you can see from Earth, oxygen and magnesium and aluminum and iron, these are key elements for the planet Mars. Venus as well has its own elements that stands out. And of course, oxygen is also one, but sulfur and argon stands out with Venus. Then, of course, the sun with its helium and its hydrogen, the carbon is there, neon is there as well. Now, what is this showing to us? That the different planets, just like planet Earth, have their own makeup, but it is not necessarily the same, obviously. Now, this is where the connection comes in. This is why, very important, you have specific plants that are connected to specific planets. Why? Because the plants themselves, the rose and the herbs and the fruits and the different nuts, are connected to the same planets because, again, of their makeup. And this is why, for example, the hibiscus would be connected to Venus. And when you harvest the hibiscus and when you utilize the hibiscus to create medicine, and when you even utilize the medicine that is made with the hibiscus, if you do all of this in conjunction with the movement of Venus, you would get a more potent product. This is not a question. This is just the reality. So this is why you have specific plants, again, that are connected with the specific planets. That within itself is a science. And again, that is why certain plants have more sulfur than other plants. Certain plants are loaded with iron, phosphorus. But then again, there are specific planets that are like that as well. Now, again, keep in mind, a person might say, well, Mars is my planet. Jupiter is my planet. Venus is my planet. I think they're all our planets, number one. But before you go too far, remember planet Earth is your first planet. But again, the same elements that make up the other planets are also connected with you in a very biological, astrobiological way. And that is why you are also connected with specific plants and planets. Plants, planets, if you notice, the word looks very much the same. Now, before I continue, I just want to make a quick, basically, distinction between ancient astronomy and astrology. Now, as it's said here, unlike modern astronomy, ancient astronomy appreciates the spiritual values of all constellation. That is modern astronomy I'm making the comparison with there. Not just the zodiac, but the planets and other heavenly bodies. In that sense, ancient astronomy aligns with astrology. The mechanics of astrology, its perimeters and boundaries, does not apply to modern astronomical charts. Now, for example, the sun moves 1 degree every 72 years in its shift from one age to the next age, which will be 30 degrees in 2160 years. So basically, in plain language, astrology, again, although the understanding of it, it's highlighting the Pisces age at its climax. I'm saying this as an academic. Astrology as we know it is highlighting the Pisces age at its climax. The Pisces age is not in its climax anymore. In fact, we are going towards another age in the form of the Aquarius age, and I know most people are familiar with that understanding. So again, 1 degree every 72 years. That is why ancient astronomy is a bit different than astrology, although respecting the values of the planets, the constellations in relation to the human being and plants and even your animal spirit. But anyway, this is very important as well. Before you delve into this subject area, you need to understand the planets and the signs. So, for example, the sun is directly connected to the constellation Leo, and they both stand for ego and resilience and manifestation and self-love, and they both deal with the heart. The moon is directly connected to the constellation Kepra, which they call Cancer, and they both deal with the gut and the pineal gland, but they spiritually deal with the emotional body, intuition, and also the mood. Also now Mercury, which is considered the messenger. Again, we have to consider all of these planets have their understanding in the ancient African sense, like Mercury for sure is Tahuti, thought. That's why it has to do with wisdom. It has to do with the mind. It has to do with communication. And of course, Mercury is dealing with Gemini and Virgo. And I'm going to show you a very mystic thing with Gemini in a few moments. All right. And then Venus is directly paired with the sign or constellation of Taurus, the Apis, and of course Libra, the Ma'at, the balance. And of course, they deal with harmony and beauty, love. And they also deal with defense, which is war. That's why Venus has been seen as the Olmec planet of war. And they deal with the reproductive system and the kidneys and the thyroid. Mars, now another war general. I'm going to show you something very interesting about Mars right now as we speak. So anyone that was born or is being born today, right now, I'm going to show you a special relationship that you have with Mars in a few moments. Now, Mars represents the pineal gland or the primal energy as well, the muscular system, and power, desire, and action. That's why many people consider Mars to be the god of war, because it deals with, again, power and action, more offense now. And it's paired with Scorpio and Aries. Jupiter is paired with Pisces and Sagittarius, joy and spirit, longevity, vitality. The king of the planets, Jupiter is called, and directly deals with the liver. And the Aquarius constellation and Capricorn is linked directly with Saturn, which has to do with foundation and discipline and structure. And the bones and the skin is highlighted. And Aquarius is also paired with Uranus too, which is deals with higher consciousness and innovation, and deals with the electrical aspect of the goody Neptune. Pisces comes into the play again. This is very important. And Neptune, the further away the planets go, they deal with the deeper psychic energy, collective dreams, etc. And then, of course, Pluto, again, the collective underworld, directly linked with Scorpio as well, deals with primordial energy and metamorphosis and these different aspects. So when you comprehend the link with each planet and each constellations, and some people say, man, there's a lot of spooky stuff. Now, of course, we took a moment. It may have been a crash course to clearly show that we as human beings are directly connected with our planet and connected with all which is around us. So my royal family, you yourself, you need not to be afraid. When the moon is full, the water table rises. The same thing with you. That is why the woman's cycle is naturally connected to the cycle of the moon. Now, this is something that is easily observed. We all know that when it's the full moon, the tide comes in and the tide goes out. But then when the moon is rising, we observe this. But when Mars is rising, when Venus is rising, when Mercury is in retrograde, what is taking place? That is something deeper to look into, and that is what ancient astronomy covers. Now, today is the 2nd of July, 2024, and I'm going to show you exactly how you would literally do a natal chart reading for this day. Now, this is a program I'm going to continually do. So if you want your natal chart expressed on this program, all you have to do is to send me an email. Of course, you know the email address is priestIsaacInstitute at gmail.com. priestIsaacInstitute at gmail.com. Just let us know what date you were born, of course, the day, the month, and the year, and then the exact time would definitely help. And I would take a 5 or 7 minutes to highlight, you know, that right here on the Tiger's Nest, right here on Radio Anu TV, which is the YouTube. So you will be seeing everything. Now, obviously, you will have to send me your date early. Don't wait too long because, you know, first come, first serve. So the next time we come with this program, we will be reading, you know, a few of the dates that we receive, and we'll be telling you what planet aligns with what constellation the day you were born, and give you a little meaning and, you know, interpretation behind of it. So Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. Of course, send me your email, of course, your name. If you don't want to use your exact name, it's up to you. I understand. I really do understand. You got to know what you're putting out to the world. That's your birth date and your date and the year and your name as well. So you got to know. If you feel you want to use a pseudonym, I can understand that. You understand? So just be wise with what you're doing. Email us and I will send you, not send you, we'll be doing it right here on the next program. But I'm going to do some of that tonight. So maybe, you know, your Earth Day might come up. So let us go to the sky chart right now and start to do some natal chart reading. And but before we go there, listen to this. Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of archaeoastronomy from Politecnico de Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely
Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information.
All right, beautiful. priestisaacinstitute.com. And of course, the link is in the description below. Okay, Royal Family, we want to stay up to speed today, being the second day of July. And what we're going to do, let's just suppose that you were born today, the second day of July. In fact, if today is your Earth Day, blessed Earth Day. But now, when we do our natal chart reading, I'm not being pretending to be a numerologist or not even an astrologer, where I could just say, well, you were born today and this is your reading, etc., etc. This is a precise evaluation, family, of when you were born, down to the specific time. Now, I know many of our family it may be evening where you are now, but at the recording of this, it is exactly 24 minutes after the hour of 8 in the morning, 2024, on the second day of July. So even if you're watching this video, let's say 5 years after today, 10 years or 20 years after, and you were born today at this time, well, I'm going to give you a quick reading as such. I would say an excerpt of your full chart today. But basically, what I want to do, Royal Family, is to give everyone an idea of how to determine the whole aspect of your natal chart reading. So instead of just sitting down and listening to someone, you don't even know where they got this information from. Oh, today Mars is in Pisces and it's in retrograde. So that means you should not go out without a pink sweater today. So how did she know that? You understand? Now, you just witnessed myself expressing to you the importance of connecting the physical body, your physical anatomy, with the earth and the planets, because we are all made up of the elements and sub-elements of the universe. That's why we are connected. It's almost like magnets. They're connected. Birds of a feather flock together. So we're connected to the sun. We're connected to the moon. We're connected to Mars. We're connected to Jupiter. We're connected to the constellations. This is not something we can deny. Now, let us look at today. The sun is in Gemini. Now, this is important. I'm speaking of today, today, today. And before I get to the natal chart reading, this is a very special day. Today, yesterday, even the day before, very special because the sun and Venus are both in the constellation of Gemini. The sun at this moment is in the male aspect of Gemini, while Venus is in the female aspect of Gemini. So the sun is in what is referred to as Shu, and Venus is in Tefnut. Tefnut is what they call Pollux, while Shu would be Castor. Now you must remember, family, this is very important, that Gemini today, as we know Gemini in astrology, is two little boys, two little Greek boys. But in ancient astronomy, Gemini was a man and a woman, male and female. And this concept or culture is very important for us to highlight. So yes, again, you have Gemini. At this moment, the sun is in Gemini and Venus is also in Gemini. So outside of the natal chart reading, the energy of today is a serious balance for couples, for spouses, for husbands and wives. This is a day where you should be sitting down together. You should be planning together because Gemini, remember, Gemini is symbolic of communication. And the fact that the sun, which is obviously strongly masculine, and Venus, which is strongly feminine, but yet still remember, Venus represents defense. Venus has been seen as the planet representing warlike qualities in ancient Mesoamerica amongst the Olmec people. You follow me? So those of you who are, in a relationship, not no Castor and Pollux sort of relationship now, but a shoe and Tefnut, male and female, straight up. This is because the sun is masculine and Venus is feminine, and Venus is lodged not only in Gemini, but in the feminine aspect of Gemini. And the sun is lodged not only in Gemini, but in the masculine aspect of Gemini today, now as we speak. And you will get the same vibration tomorrow on the 3rd, even the 4th, the energy will be still strong. And then, of course, even yesterday and the day before, the energy was still high. But today, it seems to be a climax. In the same way that a meteorologist or a climatologist can give you the weather, this is the weather as well. This is the forecast of what is taking place in the heavens. Okay, let's get to the natal chart aspect of it now. Let's say you were born today. Let's say you were born right now. Let's assume you were coming out of the moon. You are coming out of your mother's womb, which the womb is connected to the moon. You get me? The moon is connected to the womb. That's why, again, the cycle of the woman is so in tune with the 27.7-day cycle of the moon. Okay, good. Now, so as you can see, you were born today. If you were born on the 2nd day of July, whatever year in this modern day time, in the last 300-400 years, the sun would be in the constellation of Gemini. Okay, good. Now, don't worry about Venus yet. Let us look at the natal birth chart as it relates to the sun. Now, those who were born or who are being born today, right now, and again, you may see this 5 years from now, the sun, remember now, you have to understand the characteristics of the sun. I just showed you what planet is connected to what constellation. And this is why it's important to study these things. But yet still, if you're humbly listening for the advice, remember the sun represents ego. The sun represents what? Resilience. The sun represents manifestation, self-love, and the sun is linked to the heart. Now, this is important, family. Everyone is related to every planet. Everyone is related to every planet, but we are not all related to every constellation. So, for example, the planets may be all in 4 or 5 of the constellations. So you're connected with these 4 or 5 constellations. You may not have any planet in Pisces. You may not have any planet in Taurus. So what's your connection with Taurus? Do you have a connection with Pisces? Well, remember, both Pisces and Taurus are connected to a specific planet. This is very important. Now, when we look at this in depth, for example, Venus is directly connected to Taurus as a planet. So you, as an individual, you must be connected to Venus. You must be connected to Mars. You must be connected to Jupiter and Saturn. Everyone is connected to every planet. But you're not directly connected to every constellation because at your natal birth date, Maybe no planet was connected to a specific constellation. Maybe the sun, the moon, or any planet, none of them were in Aries. Maybe nothing was in Leo. So how does that work? This is very important, and I want the family to really follow me so you can understand the academics, so you're not led blindly, so you have an idea where we are. Listen to me good. Now, the constellations represent your qualities, especially your special qualities. The planets represents your potential. Now, your qualities, your constellations also represent potential, but it's more your qualities. Why? Because you may not be related to all the constellations. So these unique qualities are there, and in some cases, they're resting dormant. That is why the potential now comes in the planets. Remember, you're connected to every planet. So whether it's resilience, whether it's ego, whether it's self-love, whether it's innovation, whether it's primordial energy, you have the potential of all of these characteristics because everyone is connected to every planet. Now, when the planet is connected to a specific constellation, that's where the magic happens. Again, the sun represents ego and resilience and manifestation, determination. That's why it's the sun, just the way that the sun behaves. But now the sun is in Gemini. What does that mean? This is where it comes into power now. Now, Gemini is connected to do you remember which planet Gemini is connected to? Is connected to Mercury. And keep in mind, when you order an official natal chart reading from us, remember you get a free document called, it's an online PDF document entitled Planets and Plants and Constellations. We do sell it online for only $12, but you get it free when you order your natal chart reading. And what that shows you, it gives you a good understanding of exactly what planet is connected with what constellation and what plants or fruits and vegetables are connected to the same planets and constellations. Very, very in-depth. So again, Venus, as we just explained, is directly connected to Mercury, which is Tahuti, which is the messenger, 88 days to go around the sun. All of this, the mathematics is very, very important. So now, Venus itself is also in the constellation of Gemini at the time. Now, Gemini, again, like Mercury, represents the mind, and Gemini represents communication. I want you to follow this good. So the sun in Gemini is basically this. Everyone does not have a planet in Gemini, but everyone is connected to the sun. So within you, you have the potential of resilience and manifestation. You have the potential of self-love and that what they call ego. Don't get the term ego wrong. Ego just stands for determination and self-confidence and knowing who you are. Now, when you apply that, which we all have, and you connect it now to the energy of Gemini, which Gemini energy is what? The mind. Gemini's energy is what? Communication. Gemini energy specifically has to do with oneness and expression. Now, this is how you see the qualities coming to the surface. This is how the potential literally becomes kinetic because you use your mind. Follow me good. You use your consciousness. You use your communication skills. And this is important because communication is not just talking. Talking is one level of communication. Being an orator is another level of communication. Being able to convince people is another level of communication. But being able to understand when you are to respond is communication. Some ones don't respond. Some people don't correspond. Some people can speak, but they don't speak or respond in the right time. You comprehend? So communication has to do again with Gemini, because Gemini is connected to Mercury, and Mercury is the messenger. So here again, you're born today, the sun is in Gemini. So that Gemini energy, which everyone doesn't have, but everyone has the sun energy. But you, who the sun is now in Gemini, you use your special skills of what? Communication. You use your special skills of what? Your mind, to tap into that energy of resilience, to tap into that energy of manifestation, to tap into that energy of self-love. So you're trying to manifest. Everyone wants to manifest, right? You're trying to make things happen. Everyone wants to make things happen, right? That ability is in the sun, and everyone is connected to the sun. But is your sun connected to Gemini? Yes. Well, then use the qualities of Gemini, which is your mind, which is also innovation, which is also communication. And I will repeat, this is why Gemini is linked with Mercury. Then now Venus is also in Gemini. Remember, Venus is directly connected to Taurus. Believe it or not, Venus is harmony. So Taurus, the bull, is harmony. Yes, Venus, Venus is harmony, beauty, and love. But keep in mind that Venus has always been seen as a planet that represents war. Now, Taurus is the bull, and Taurus literally charges. Taurus represents defense as well. But Taurus is harmony and love and beauty. Good. We're not dealing with Taurus yet. We're dealing with Gemini. So Venus is in Gemini. Once again, Venus is harmony. Venus is beauty. Venus is love. But Venus is in Gemini. So this person who was born at this moment when Venus is in Gemini should tap into, again, their mind energy, their communication skills, literally paying attention to how they communicate with individuals and people and family and everyone. And within that, they would find the means and ways, the frequency, and the ability to manifest more harmony, to manifest more love, to manifest more beauty. Family, this is a real thing. That is why I took the time to show you in detail exactly how this works, as it relates to the science. Now let's go straight to the moon, because usually that's what we do. I just jumped to Venus because Venus was right there, but we usually take it in order: the sun, the moon, and then we come down the planets. You understand? So when you observe now, you see the moon and Mars. Now, this is very important. I would like to highlight this here. As I said earlier, I would show you something very special about Mars as it relates to today, as it relates to this moment, as it relates to this time. All right, very good. Now, this is key. Mars is at a specific point here in the heavens. In fact, let us just observe this first. If you were born today, like right now, you have Jupiter in Taurus, you have Uranus in Taurus, and you have Mars between Taurus and Aries. In fact, if we were just looking about an hour or two ago, Mars was at a specific spot in the heavens where it was basically, you have to understand that the heavens is divided into degrees, where Mars was sharing the energy between Taurus and Aries. Now, I would still consider that Mars is sharing that strong energy between Taurus and Aries. Now remember, listen to this, Mars represents war. Mars represents action. Mars represents defense and offense. So Mars takes opportunity. That's why they usually relate Mars with war. But it takes opportunity. The red planet, blood, That's why most plants that have thorns are connected to Mars. They're called Marshall plants. But Mars now, as you can see, at the moment is between two constellations that represents defense and charging as well. The ram, Aries, the ram, and Taurus, the bull. Now, Aries, the ram, represents desire. Aries represents power. Aries represents action. Aries represents energy. But do you remember which planet Aries is directly paired with? Mars. Aries and Mars are paired together. So the fact that Mars is in Aries, that's super powerful. And the fact that Mars is still so close to Taurus is still super powerful, because both Taurus and Aries, as you know, are charging animals with horns. And their symbol now specifically is action. Because Taurus, although harmony and beauty and love, Taurus obviously is charging. That's why Taurus is linked with Venus, who is beauty and love and harmony too. But Venus in ancient astronomy is seen as a war goddess. Aries as well. Now, I know these are Greek and Roman names. We know that. But you must keep in mind that is why ancient astronomy is important. That the Greeks and the Romans, more so the Greeks, came to the Africans to learn this concept. So we taught them that the planet they call Mercury was Tahuti, the neter of wisdom. And that is why it is so swift, 88 days to go around the sun, 88 constellations in the heavens. So that is why they would have created their concepts of Mercury and Mars and Jupiter and these gods, and placed the names on the planets because of the value that they learned from the Africans. This is deep. It's called ancient astronomy. So the fact that Mars is lodged in Aries and still so close, basically on the borderline to that of the zone of Taurus. Yet still, when you utilize, listen good, when you utilize the qualities that you have in Mars, you're definitely going to unlock the potential qualities that you have in Aries, which is basically the same thing as Mars. So it's like double power. So this individual should be a real leader, a real go-getter, a real action man or woman, because they will have strong desires. They should never suppress it. But yet still, if they utilize these qualities correctly, they will manifest harmony just through their desire. They will manifest duty just through their action. So if they're going to be wimpy and pretend they don't want to hurt no one and they don't want to take action and somebody might say something, then they will not develop harmony. They will not develop beauty. They will not develop the love that they want because they're suppressing another aspect of them. And this is what ancient astronomy is all about. Listen, family, as I said, I would have taken the program today to take the time to give you a good comprehension of the importance of knowing exactly the academics behind all of this. So we don't want to be just saying, oh, if the sun is in the fishes, this is what it means. And if, Neptune is in Capricorn, this is what it means. No, you understand now the value of Neptune. You understand the makeup of Neptune. You comprehend the value of Venus and its makeup elementary I'm speaking of, to the point that you can connect it to specific plants. The plants that open their petals when Venus rises. The coral reefs that spawn when the moon is full. So we have a natural connection to the cosmos. It cannot be denied. But now what we want to know is what exactly in detail is the connection. And this is why we would have taken the time to do our research, do our studies. That is why we could offer even the ancient astronomy course, which I would encourage everyone to be a part of. Now, remember, when I return for this program, I will be reading your natal chart, your birth chart. We'll be going through them as swiftly as we can. So you will need to email me. Some of you have already started to email me. I'm positive. Remember, the early bird will get the early berry. So the quicker you email myself at priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, all the links are in the description below. And of course, you're gonna leave your birthday, you're gonna leave your birth year, you're gonna leave the time you were born, very important as well. If you don't have exactly the time, well, we understand, but at least the day and the year for sure. I think everyone will know that. And who you are. If you do not want to leave your exact name, it is up to you. You don't have to leave first name and last name. If your name is Phil, you could just say Phil, so you could feel identified. You know, some people may not want anyone to do their birth name. You may want to say your name is Toenail. Well, you will know who you are. It's up to you, but this is a free reading for the next upcoming video. Depending on how many we get, we will have to do a series of videos on this. But the earlier you email me, the earlier you send your birthday, the earlier you send your year and everything, it's the earlier you're going to hear your birth chart being read live. Now, of course, it's not going to be a concise reading. You know what I mean? It's not going to be an in-depth reading. That is going to take hours. Obviously, you could have a one-on-one reading with you can make that appointment, but you can also get your own official natal chart specifically, and I would definitely encourage that with everyone. Now, you should make sure you subscribe to the channel and you would put on the notification bell, because it wouldn't be nice that you send me your birthday and I come and I read it. I may come live and read it for you, or on a premiere and read it for you, and you are nowhere to be found. And maybe 3 days after you hear it, oh man, I missed that. Yeah, so make sure you not only subscribe, but put on the notification bell so that you would get the message that we are coming again. So make sure you email us your date, your year, and everything, and look forward to your natal chart reading. Or you can get an in-depth reading, a personal copy for yourself. Looking forward, family. Blessed love.
Do you want an accurate natal chart reading to know the true position of the sun, the moon, and each planet at the moment that you were being born? We at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge will create a precise natal chart for you and your loved ones, coupled with snapshot pictures of each planet, the sun, the moon, plus the constellations related to them. In addition to this, we will be giving you a detailed report of the alignment of planets to the constellations and its full meaning, not from an astrological perspective, but from an ancient astronomical perspective. You will have this report for the rest of your life and can share it with your friends and your family. To order your accurate natal chart today, visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Blessed.